Shalom, this is Mary Omni from the World Government House of King David, Holy Covenant Constitutional Enforcer. This is a Republic Notice. The title of this Republic Notice is called Black Athletes Peacocking, Their Anti-Holiness, and Their Contractual Anus Destitution. Now, if you haven't listened to any of my videos, I suggest after this, listen to more of my videos. I have several about black men. This is not a gender war. This is not me fighting against black men. This is me defending the righteous brothers by pointing out those who are unrighteous. We have many righteous black men who, with their women, their children, and they are serving their Creator. And I hope you find that understanding in me as I point out the other types of apostate black men. Now, they have to be pointed out because they all on the internet, on the World Wide Web, and they're feeding the beast, and they are spraying ignorance all over the place about the woman seed of Genesis 3:15, which is the Judah black constitutional woman. And their voices are pretty loud in spreading of this degradation, this abomination, and this anti-woman seed rhetoric that always comes out of their mouth. It is really a crime that they're committing against the Holy Spirit, one of the unforgivable sins that would not be forgiven. So they can keep on doing it because what they're proving is that they're apostate. That's what they're proving. They are apostate, which means they're fighting the Mashiach, okay? Because the woman's seed carries the Mashiach, and that's what they're fighting. So this is why I have to follow up, and I have to put forth some level of assertive understanding of the Constitution, of the Holy Covenant, of the black woman, how she sees things, of her role, of her rights, and her Holy Covenant status. Okay, black athletes peacocking their anti-holiness and anus contractual destitution is those like COLBY BRYANT, O.J. Simpson. They're actors, singers too. Quincy Jones, James Earl Jones, don't matter if they're old or young, Sidney Poitier, basketball players, football players, wrestlers, baseball players. These athletes peacock for the world. They're anti-holiness. They're against their holy nation. They're against the holy black woman. They help the media and the world war against the Holy Spirit and the holy image of the Judah black woman, the Most High chosen wife, namesake, and nation in the holy covenant called the Constitution of the United States of America. Now, these black athletes, like COLBY BRYANT, he's one of the popular ones, but we have Michael Jordan too. He's sporting his anti-holiness now, and he's about to possibly contract into anus contractual destitution, and I'm going to tell you what anus contractual destitution is in a minute. Just keep that in mind. We have Michael Jordan, who might have a slight protection. And I'm going to tell you about that slight protection he might have. But that's a big might. And so this goes for not only the black male athletes that peacock. This goes for all black men who think money makes them better than the holy nation they from, who think that money, which is a fiat exchange, gives them the right to put their middle finger up to a 500-year investment in them constitutionalized in the supreme contract. Okay, now an anus contractor is usually a public contractor. We have the constitutional republic and then something we call the public. The public is usually all those who are immigrants brought in by the banksters, the Catholic Church, other churches, brought in by their parents, crossing the borders, Canada, Mexico, coming in on planes, all in Alaska, all the white immigrants from Europe. They are the public, which means they have no constitutionality. The Constitution was closed to the public and sealed by 1870, with blacks as the only constitutional citizens. Now, we do have citizens in several states, but they're not the constitutional citizens. Blacks hold the right as constitutional citizens and a citizen of that state in which they reside, which means they're national and state citizens. They hold two citizenships by supreme contract. They have a dual citizenship where the public don't have no citizenship. Now, if you think that's unfair, listen to my other video that called Blacks Took the Whip for almost 400 years to be contractually God sovereign. Okay, listen to that. Now, the thing called anus has to do with the U.S. corporation. The U.S. corporation is the mule that blacks inherited, and it's a mule that they own. It's their mother mule that can harness all other corporations and all other entities that come and trample. It's the harness for them. Now, it's not harnessed within the mule. The mule simply processes them, and they take up a little centimeter of the mule anus, and they're defecated out and processed in the Tower of Babel, going to hell the other way for, all the Babylon consenters. They are called unholy consenters. Why are they unholy? Because they knew of the satanic murder of all the natives, which include a lot of blacks from the Trail of Tears, and blacks are natives here too, and red, and included those in the transatlantic slave trade, 100 million or more that died and was fed in a shark frenzy, and that was forced to work in involuntary servitude, and they took the whip. Now, these anus contractors are in the U.S. corporate mule. This mule is owned by the Constitution. It doesn't have one amendment. Constitution holds all the amendments, all the wealth. The U.S. corporate mule just contracts with debtors. It contracts with debtors to separate debtors from the wealth, and then it processes them in their due process that they all love. Their due process, due process, due process, due process. The mule dookie processes them and creps them out in the mule anus in the Tower of Babel, which is an abyss hole. And their contracts are part of this abyss hole dung. The anus stands for American Non-Consented United Squatters. They're United Squatters. We talk about the United States, United States, United States. Well, the United States can only be those in the Constitution with the land, if you're talking about people. Otherwise, you're just talking about state land. The United States can only be those in the Constitution with the land, married to the land, and them are black Americans, okay? Them are black Judasian Americans, okay? Those anus contractors' demarcation point comes after the mule. They usually came after 1871, where the constitutional republic goes from 1 to 15, and it's cut off in 1870 with the 15th Amendment non-consent jurisdiction, supreme automated built-in vote, automatic vote of non-consent jurisdiction supremacy. It doesn't require nobody going to a voting booth. It's the Constitution. It supremes non-consent jurisdiction, a vote that's already built in. So that means no one could just impose themselves on the 14th or get a 14th citizenship. It's been non-consented since 1868 because 3/5 couldn't consent to it. They inherited, so it's a non-consented amendment. Now, this is what those like COLBY, BRYANT inherited, this beautiful republic that is debt-free, have regenerating wealth, has supreme contractual. But he is married to the black woman in it. And therefore, if he jumps out, he has to go over the 15th Amendment, and he has to go past the mule and walk through all that dung and abyss, and he has to bed and make a blood contract with the immigrants that came in after the mule, and that would be his wife. He made a blood contract with his wife, and that means he's peacocking in contractual destitution, because he has abridged his own 15th, he breached his own 14th, he declared non-consent to his own constitutional wealth. And therefore, he is now a destitute contractor. With this comes adultery, because he's still married to the constitutional Judah. God married, his name said Judah is married to Judah because God married Judah to himself and the land. So he's still married. He's just an adulterer. He's just an adulterer, and his wife is what you call an adulterous Babylon whore, who thinks because she opened her legs, constitutional wealth is transferred to her, which is not. She has what you call a dung contract, that she has access to money, because right now they are joining the public in sucking the satanic phallus of debt, where they just exchange fiat money, and they're able to benefit from this fiat money. But contractually, they'll never own anything. Contractually, they're poor. Contractually, COLBY, BRYANT, and his adulterous Babylon whore is poor. Okay? If Michael Jordan married this woman outside of the marriage of constitutionality to him being married to his black woman, and he creates a blood contract with her as in a child, then his real constitutional wife, who he never divorced, because Babylon cannot divorce supreme contractors. They cannot divorce supreme contractors. They don't have no contract that equal the Constitution. Therefore, they can't divorce constitutional citizens. So in truth, Michael Jordan and his real wife was never divorced. God allowed separation. Now, if he goes ahead and he makes a blood contract with this woman, then he's going to become an anal contractor and be in complete contractual destitution. He will abridge his own 15, breach his own 14th, and commit adultery. And thereby, the wealth bounces all the way back, all of it, down to the last center of the penny, to the black woman that he married and that has constitutionality, okay? And that's the same with COLBY BRYANT. Now, his wealth belongs to his mother. She has a contractual supremacy on this little Hispanic girl that had a baby with her. She's destitute. She's a charity case. Right now, COLBY BRYANT mother owns all of COLBY wealth, lock, stock, and barrel. And if she don't claim it, any Judah woman, like his sister, any other woman in his family, his father, COLBY BRYANT's father can claim it, his mother can claim it, his sister can claim it, his aunt can claim it, his female cousins can claim it, and the tribe of Judah can claim it. They don't own, COLBY BRYANT owns nothing. He owns nothing but his peacock. And he owns nothing but that little 10-mile anus in that mule behind for a second until he's clapped out. He's made a blood contract. He's made a blood contract. And that means he has now become an corporate doctrine contractor by blood. And a corporate doctrine contractor by blood means you have given up your constitutional supreme contractual wealth, which means they're going to keep on feeding you money, but the power elite knows you're contractually destitute. The power elite do know that. They knew that about O.J. Simpson. They knew that about Michael Jackson. And that's why they moved in on him. They know who you are. They know your rights better than you know. They know you jumped out and you committed adultery. They encourage you to commit an adultery because then you are in the same position they in as in corporate doctrine contractors. You have nothing higher than them, and they don't think no woman in your tribal family is going to step up and tell you and your Babylon whore you own nothing, okay? You own nothing, okay? You got an exchange. You got a chance to suck Satan's fathers for a while. You got a chance to peacock in your glory for a while. But you're peacocking in anus contracting. And you're in bondage, really. Now you're in servitude because you done made blunt contracts with all the debt in the world, COLBY BRYANT and all black athletes. You made blood contracts with public debt that is past whatever they say. If they say trillions, you better think of this. One Judah constitutional heir, Judah constitutional heir is owed more than $1 quadrillion. That's just one constitutional Judah heir. Is owed more than $1 quadrillion. See, the world debt is their wealth. The world debt is Judah wealth. So, you know, you are one of these debtors. And by supreme contract, you can play with your fiat money, but we own everything. You own nothing. You don't own the house. You don't own that car. You don't own that vacation. You don't own that. You don't own this. You don't own that. You don't own that. Right now, you're dependent on Satan phallus sucking. Satan phallus sucking is all black athletes who make blood contracts with other than Judah women own. All they own is Satan phallus and Satan pillar phallus in their mouth, feeding them until he takes the pacifier out because his phallus is going to go limp soon. And then you'll find out what you have is a bondage contract with that woman that you thought was more superior and better than the woman you're married to that invested in you 500 years in America that you came out of the womb of. That kind of woman.
This is Mary Omni from the House of King David. Shalom.